Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Goblets and Gays. We are back with more of The Corrupted, so I'm going to toss it over to Navarre to take things from here.
Hello, thank you for having me back to finish the story. That would be weird if we didn't. Yes, I'm very excited for this session 2. We had a lot of fun in session 1. We did a lot of things. The players rolled very, very well. So we're going to try our best today to adjust that and get those rolls down, except for Aki, because we all know that'll never happen. She is magic. So yes, last session we left off. We met our party, our players. They stopped at a plaza to try to find some resources and found a little bit of gas and searched a couple of buildings and found some things that they were not bargaining for, including a person who apparently was hunting corrupted and lost and then turned, and then also a corrupted who seems to be adjusted, designed. Nobody really knows yet. So we're trying to figure that out. This corrupted almost created some problems for the truck, as well as Mina's shooting. But we the party all talked to each other and decided that maybe we find out what's going on here, and maybe we find out if this place is actually legit and they will actually give you resources to bring in corrupted alive. So short drive in the direction of Lexington, Kentucky, and the party finds themselves outside of a gate talking to a guard who has decided, hey, if you're interested, come in, we'll feed you, you can have a bed for a night, and we'll go from there. And that is where we left off. So yes, we find ourselves outside of this gate. You've been ushered in. You see, like I mentioned, from the outside, it looks like this very 20-foot tall gate that's built with these wooden slats. It seems like there's something on the inside that guards can walk along. What is that, a palisade in a castle? Is that what that's called? And you see as you start to drive in that there is a large, almost like 3-story rectangular building made of cement. It looks very much like a modern industrial building. You can see that at the front of the building there is glass, and the glass is very much tinted with like a solar glaze. You can see all throughout the area, this is like a converted parking lot for a large manufacturing plant of some kind, research facility. Knowing what you know about the Barron Corporation, there are a few different ways that this might be, because the Barron Corporation is a very large agricultural conglomerate. So it's hard to say from the outside, but you see this large modern building, and you can see that inside the walls that kind of surround the perimeter of this area are different barracks and tents that have been built into the space. You can see a gentleman who's sitting at a desk that's kind of got like a little canopy over him. He looks sort of disgruntled and like he'd rather do anything else, but he is talking to a couple people who seem to be in line to discuss something with him. He has a paper and pen, and he's taking down notes. You also see not a lot of vehicles as you get in. There's a few, but there aren't a ton. And so as you drive in, people turn to see the truck that you're driving in on. And you see a lot of people just kind of walking around. Some people in lab coats, some people in military uniforms, some people who just look like they may be other survivors from out in the wild. The guard who kind of led you in, she walks to the passenger door as you're kind of driving slowly in and says, just head this direction, park over here to the left, talk to that guy that you see sitting down. That's Tucker. He'll get you taken care of. And if you need anything else and you see me around, my name is Tina. I don't remember if Tina had a voice before, but that's Tina's voice right now.
I don't remember either, so we're going to go with it.
Yeah. And you guys are free to go. Free to meander.
think we should at least, even if we do split off, make sure we have a place that we are going to reconvene at.
Maybe we all talk to Tucker and then see what there is to see.
It sounds like a good plan.
We go there.
Yes, we go there.
I didn't know if Aki was going to chime in too. But yeah, so you head that direction, and there's just one other person in front of you, and seems to be like, just you catch the conversation as you're coming in, and it seems like that person is also getting information on what to do in order to secure this sort of situation long term. And Tucker says to them, yeah, that's basically it. You just gotta bring any in that you find. One is fine. You can bring in more if that works for you. But the more you bring, obviously, the better your situation gets. So tonight, you can have a free night. You can get some food. We'll give you some breakfast in the morning, a little bit of supplies. You could check in with ammo if we've got the ammo for your kind of weapon. And other than that, you're on your own. You got to figure it out. But I mean, you've been out here just as long as everybody else. I'm sure you'll figure it out. And he kind of hands him a slip that he's got signed, and he dismisses him. And he just kind of like, as he's writing down stuff, he just gestures for you to come forward. Next.
We still have the flyer that we found before.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll just put the flyer down.
He looks up and he kind of smirks, and Tucker is sitting down. He looks like he's probably a pretty tall guy, like maybe like 6'4". He's got like a sandy brown hair, dark brown eyes, and he has this sort of like long beard that just like, it seems like it's okay maintained, but it's very, very long. And he just says, yeah, he sounds like you're interested in trying to get this done. Did you bring one with you already?
In manner of speaking, we're looking for more information about the whole spiel.
Well, I don't know if you heard what I said before, but basically, if you can bring in any of these alive, then yeah, we'll continue to be able to supply you with food and shelter, and more supplies, more resources. The more you can pitch in around here, the better off your situation is going to be. Basically, this is very much a place where everybody does a little bit, puts in their work. You can't have my job, but yeah, that's, collect some corrupted, bring them in alive, and that's the easiest way to kind of work yourself into this community here.
How frequently do people actually manage to bring them in alive?
I mean, quite a bit. We've been having a steady stream since sort of this whole thing started. I don't really remember. I guess it's been about 5 years now, but we've been having people bring in some better than others. Some have their spots, some have their tricks, but yeah, it's been a steady stream since this thing started.
Remind me, I don't remember if we figured this out last time. Does the flyer say what they need them for?
No, it does not.
Okay. Then I'm gonna speak up and just sort of be like, I mean, what are you doing with them?
Well, me, I don't do anything with them. It's we turn them over to the scientists we have, and they just do their little sciencey thing. I don't know what the fuck they do, honestly, but I know that whatever it is, it's all to end this thing. That's what I've been told since the beginning, is we got to find a way to get a cure for this. And I mean, as long as they have somebody to do the research on, to get that stuff out of their eyes and whatever else, then they just keep working towards that. Our scientists have been here since the beginning too, so that's one of the things about Baron Corporation. We have some of the best minds around right here. So
This guy seem like legitimate. Does he seem like he's... I don't know. He just has so little concrete information that I'm like, are you just making this up? Not you, obviously. Tucker.
I am making this up. This is all improv.
Listen, I mean, no shade to be making it up as a GM.
No, you're fine.
It's your job.
So yeah, give me an insight and judgment roll.
That's going to be a +4 from judgment.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a natural 16, so that's going to be a dirty 20. Yeah, dirty 20.
Yeah. Yeah, he, as far as you can tell, he seems legit. He doesn't give any of the signs of somebody who would be lying. He just seems like he comes here to do his job, and he does not give a shit about looking into it any further. He has been living through the apocalypse in a place that has shelter and food consistently and does not question it.
Gotcha. So this is more of a...
and I would say he looks well fed. Like every person that you've seen here that is either in military or in science garbs, they look like they've been well fed.
Where are they getting the food from? Do we see any like fields or any sort of livestock?
Yes. So yeah, driving through from between Paris and here, you saw plenty of farms. That most of them were fenced in, and around the area, like where this facility is just surrounded by farmland.
So they're working for.
And I'll also say too, the perimeter, like the wall itself, goes far. There's a lot of trees in this area, like so. It's hard to tell like how far exactly, and with the buildings and everything. But it looks like there's space that's like very much secured, and then there's farmland around it that can also be used. Some of the farms you saw probably looked a little like deserted and just unkempt, and others look like they've been still being used for these past 5 years.
Can I just make a fucking vibe check?
Sure. If you want to vibe check, I'm going to have you do empathy and... What are you trying to vibe? Him? The situation?
Yeah, you know what? The situation, I think.
The situation. Give me an empathy alertness roll.
Could I argue judgment over empathy?
No, you may not.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking.
Okay, so 2. Then you said alertness.
Mm-hmm.
2. So that becomes the modifier. Modifier would be like +4 then.
Okay.
Yes, and it's just a straight D20, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, D20 +4.
I know those giggles.
I can't do math right now, but that was 19 on the die, so 23.
Yeah. Also, so Ferris as well, if you have any stress left, reduce that by 1 for those crits. Okay. Yeah. So the vibe that you get, you already saw as you were waiting to be let in, you saw the scientists that looked a little disheveled and worried. You saw that happen. I would say that like the people that you see who came in before you, who were like seeking shelter, they all seem like they're also on that edge of desperate of like, we need resources and we're willing to do this. Not all of them look like fighters, but they all are taking the job anyway, or at least taking the night to rest. All of the soldiers seem sort of lackadaisical, honestly. Like they're on guard and they're doing their duty, but none of them seem like a like proper military. It's like they're very casual. Like when you pulled in and you saw Tina like just kind of leaning against the wall, chit-chatting with her co-guard there, like just eating a biscuit. Like it's not a very like strict kind of place. So it seems like it's very much like, I would say, just based on that role, that you get the idea that the people that are here constantly, especially the guards, seem to just kind of almost take for granted what they have. Like everything has been good for them, so they don't really worry about shit. And whenever they have to worry about shit, they probably have fun doing it. So to them, it's like a no big deal. Like, you just, yeah, this is the easy part of the job. If they get bombarded by a bunch of corrupted, then that might change how things are on a given day over the past 5 years. But for now, it seems like they're just, they're in kind of chill mode.
Well, if we don't have more questions, maybe we should get ourselves fed, take a little look around, and then reconvene and discuss our options.
Oh, before we leave, Tucker, I'd like to ask, so how does this work long term? Do you expect us to bring in one corrupted a day?
Well, it's sort of the thing, right? Like the more you do, the better you are, the better off you are. There is some leniency if you say like make any kind of guarantee to continue doing it, but really it's sort of, you get paid for what you bring in. So the more you bring in, the more you get paid, the longer you can stay, et cetera, et cetera. It also gives you kind of the opportunity to get yourself known around here. So in case that's not the job you want to do, maybe one of you is a surgeon and you want to get employed doing surgery or some shit like that, then that's something else that you can kind of get into if it's something you want to work towards. But in order to do that, somebody's got to know who the fuck you are, and nobody's going to know who the fuck you are if you ain't catching corrupted. So that's where it all starts for everybody.
How much exactly do we get paid for each corrupted we bring in?
So
how many days of shelter? How many days of food?
Yeah. So bring in one corrupted. That'll give you 3 nights stay for the lot of you, including food and shelter. So food, water, all the stuff that you need. It'll give you, basically it's gonna get you ammo. Let's say you agree to do this. It's gonna get you ammo enough to where you can probably go catch one. Any other resources you might need, you have to ask for. But the more you bring in, the better equipment you get, the better ammo you get, perhaps whatever, more resources. So, this is just a starting stage, basically. We want to see what you can do. If you can't even do it, then we're not going to give you stuff that you're going to go lose out there. I don't have to drive my ass down to Lexington to go find your shit, so.
Have most of the folks around who stay here on base been here since the start?
Are you talking about the collectors? Or are you talking about the soldiers?
You, the guards?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for the most part. I think we've had people come in that have come from other parts of the world that just moving around the U.S. and work themselves into a long-term thing. We've had other people just from sometimes we're able to get communication out to other Baron Corporation facilities and do a little swap with some important people. So it just depends. I'd say it's kind of a little bit of a mix. A lot of folk from Kentucky that are here, and some from other places.
Oh, are other Baron Corp locations doing the same program?
I mean, as far as I know, there's at least 10 throughout the U.S. that are doing the same thing.
Interesting.
Just from our, every once in a while, like I said, the radios these days is a little inconsistent, but every once in a while we can get some communication out to go find out. Or we have, people who, that's kind of their whole thing, is they just drive around and do, check in, make sure things are going well. And yeah.
I think Elaine is going to glance at the group and just sort of make a gesture at her arm, and kind of silently ask the group if we should talk to this guy about our little corrupted friend, or if we think A, we don't want to talk about that in mixed company, or B, this guy's not going to know anything.
I think Amina sort of slightly shakes her head no.
Because we did already ask somebody a little bit about that. We asked the person at the gate, like, because that's what we
Yeah, and
showed
she
to
was
get
not
in.
surprised by it, which is why I'm like, should we try to learn a little bit more about the...
This person, I'm not sure if they would know. Like, in the back of my head, I'm just like, I want to talk to one of the scientists.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree.
That's who I want to talk to.
Yeah, to the science. You didn't even see the scientist. I saw it. I let you know that there were scientists here, so
Tucker mentioned it too.
Yeah. You guys saw him, and Tucker mentioned it as well. There's other ones walking around, but there was that one specifically that was walking that that Sabrina saw that seemed odd in her manner. But there you have seen others walking around as well as Tucker mentioning them. So
yeah, because that's who I want to talk to. Because even if it's just under the guise of hi medical professional to scientific professional, what's going on? Like, what are you doing? Like, medical terms, are you doing this to study it or something like that? Just out of curiosity and wanting to dig.
That could be something we can ask Tucker. Is there a way we can speak to the scientists conducting the research to learn more about their research? I mean, what are we gonna do? Steal it in an apocalypse? I think not.
And I mean, hey, if they haven't cracked it in 5 years,
yeah. What, you think we're closer to a breakthrough? No. We're dealing with Johnny Knife Hands, the corrupted over here. So.
But I'll look over at Tucker and just being like, the scientists who are working on this, is it possible that we could ask them just some questions of curiosity? I was a vet before, all of this happened, so, scientific medical curiosity as to what's going on.
Oh shit, I was just joking about that whole surgeon thing, but that's kind of funny. Yeah, actually, I think if you just got to catch them, you just got to catch them because they got their own shit to do and they stay busy.
I mean, that's fair.
And he kind of leans in conspiratorially and he's like, we don't really keep hours around here, but they work a lot of hours. And if you catch them, you know what you might do. Okay, here's what we'll do. I'm gonna get you guys set up here. And he pulls out the desk and he reaches in and he grabs you and he hands you a key and he's like, it's just like a shitty keychain with a permanent marker that's written K and a key. And he said, "This you can stay in Barrett K." And he points down with his left arm. Just go down this lane till you find it. It's got 4 rooms if you need them, and we actually got hot water, electricity. It'll probably be the best place you stayed in a while, I bet. When you're done with that, getting your stuff settled, then head on over to the mess hall, which is in the actual main building. Just go through the front, and then you can't miss it. It's going to be on your right. If you find a scientist in the mess hall, you're free to talk to them. Whether or not they'll talk to you, I don't know, but that's the best place I'd say to give it a shot. They kind of, I don't know. I tried dating one time and he did not want to give me any information about the shit that he did, which is why I'm so ignorant about this shit. So I'm just going to tell you right now, will it work? Are you more charming than me? I doubt it, but you can try.
I love Tucker.
Yeah, same. But thank you. We'll go set up, and if we have any questions, we'll let you know.
Yeah, of course. Make sure, get some food. If you drink, they got moonshine. It's good. Trust me. It's how I get through the day. And he
that's
jingles
fair.
his jacket, and you can hear a little sloshing. Don't tell anybody about that.
Secret.
All right.
Secret safe with us.
Yeah. And he kind of looks past you, and there's another person that has wandered in. He's like, "All right, next." So yeah, you have your key and you have your places to check out.
As we walk over, well, is everyone heading to the barracks first, or did?
Yeah, that's kind of the plan.
Yeah,
you know?
barracks first.
Yeah.
I would say too, like there's like a lane, right, that you could drive the truck over there, and a place. It looks like there's space enough between each of the barracks that you could park the truck.
Oh, so
Have your
as
stuff
we
close.
as we drive over to the barracks, then I think that Mina is going to lean over to Elaine and whisper, kind of jokingly, but maybe not. I mean, do you think if we tell his supervisor about the moonshine, we have a better chance of getting his job, though?
How dare you?
I think Elaine just laughed. Says one job at a time, babe. Keep it on the back burner just in case.
Or Tucker.
I have a question about the parking space, I guess.
Yeah.
Or parking lot. Does it look like it is guarded?
Like there's not. I'll say that there are not necessarily like guards walking around inspecting to make sure people aren't getting into shit. So no, not really. It's basically like you're here. The space is fairly wide open, but in between the barracks, somebody could hide or like try to break into your shit. So, I would say just given like the state of the world and the things y'all have been through for the past 5 years, I would just assume it's not the safest place to just leave shit in your truck or whatever.
Yeah, no. I'm mostly worried about like fuckers trying to steal our truck, or even worse, they use one of those tire locks and just slap it on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is why I asked. I am more. Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean?
I mean,
if they really want us to go, they're gonna make us agree to go.
But we would need the truck to get it back here.
They could make us walk. We don't know them. They could go, here's a few guns, here's a few rations. Go get it.
Go get it. Yeah.
They could make us walk. There's absolutely nothing stopping them from that. Or like worse, put a tracker on our car.
Go ahead and make an intelligence alertness roll. Aki, and I'll see if what you see to like whether or not you see any indication that would be beneficial to you or not.
All I know is that my dice are on absolute red alert. I'm not dying tonight unless you fuckers fuck up and make me. That's it. So it's 19 on the die again.
Jesus.
Except this time it's a +5, so 24.
Do you have any stress left?
No, I think I'm officially done.
Yeah.
I had 2 stress, and then I technically crit twice, so I think I'm done. I'm just not stressed out anymore. I'm just judgmental.
Yeah.
Or never.
Sure.
Wants to show off the cool stress mechanic, and we're like, nah, not today.
Nah. We will roll high.
We're too chill.
It's okay. It's okay. Things will happen. So yeah. So
my dice are also in survival mode. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I'll say, like, as you're looking around, as you're passing like vehicles, there's not a ton of people here, but like, as you know, K is sort of in the middle of the alphabet-ish, and so as you're passing buildings, you can see that there are other vehicles. None of them seem to have any like nothing on the tires, nothing seems to be messed with. You definitely see damage, right? Because it's hard to live in this world and not damage your vehicle, but it doesn't seem like any of it is restricting those vehicles from leaving where they are. And I'll say, just because you crit, you also see somebody get into their minivan and drive it out as you guys are pulling up, and they pass you, if that helps.
Well, at least it looks like we can drive in and out of here, no problem.
Good for a quick exit. if one happens.
Yeah, and as you pull up, you see it almost looks like these buildings are basically they're like quickly constructed barracks, basically. They are made of mostly of wood. Some of them are bricks. Some of them are steel. They're kind of thrown together, but they don't look shoddily made. It's just they don't always have all the same resources. And you get out, you use your key. All the windows look secure and like there's no broken glass. You use your key and you open it, and it's actually kind of a cozy place. It's not decorated by any means, but there are, you can see 4 doors with small rooms. You can see that there's one single like bathroom like straight ahead as you enter, and a very small living space. But true to form, you click on the switch and there is indeed electricity like they said.
A moment to bask in the electric light.
Yes.
Like, oh, it's been a while.
Dips on shower.
You ever just stand in front of your headlights of your truck just to experience electric light? Yeah. So yeah, you this is your space for the time being.
Yeah, I think hot water was mentioned, so I think Elaine will definitely shoot for the shower. And assuming that it is limited, we'll also be like, Mina, want to jump in it? Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not a terribly large shower, but for sure, like you could fit in there. You turn on the water and it kind of like sputters at first, and it kicks out like a little bit of a brown water, and you're like, damn it. And then sure enough, this clean stream of water comes out. And after a few minutes, it starts to warm up indeed. And you can take a hot shower.
Yes, Mina is also going to wash off all of her clothes because she did get sort of corrupted. All of her stuff.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah. So yes. So as the two of you are showering, if there's anything you want to discuss on recording, you can do that. If not, then we can move over to Siobhan and Sabrina as the two of you are waiting.
Well, if there's nothing, Siobhan will sort of put her medical bag and stuff on like a table, following with everything else, and take a moment to just sort of take off like the outer layers, and take off her shoes and sit down as she looks over at her wife and just goes, okay, what is your honest read of this place?
Now, I'm not saying this because I'm being petty or anything, but I actually don't like it here.
That's fair. There is something about here that, I mean, maybe I've heard the stories about Baron and all of that before everything, but I want to talk to one of the scientists just to confirm something for myself. But I definitely don't like the idea of staying here longer than we have to. A night, maybe 2 at most.
I'm all for staying the night. Hell, even lying and saying, sure, we'll go get one, get supplies, and then don't come back. Let them think we died or something. Because one corrupted gets us only 3 nights out of 4 people? That's not enough. Especially with how many people are in this camp, it sounds like they don't have enough stuff. Yeah, I mean, sure, like I'm not betting everybody's coming back alive, but I'm not betting that everybody's actually doing shit.
Yeah, especially if it's the only thing that they seem to be like looking for from outsiders is corrupted. At what point are you running out of corrupted in the area? Because you have a lot of people going out to get them, but a lot of people probably just don't come back. There is something more here that I can tell it's there. I just can't put my finger on exactly what it is.
Call me a government conspiratist or whatever, or maybe I just hate authority now. But you in a lab coat, great, amazing, never take it off. Other people in a fucking lab coat, no thank you, especially during an apocalypse. I don't even believe in herd immunity. You think I'm gonna believe you could run a clean facility to make a vaccine? No. Also, this is America. We're probably making weapons instead of a cure.
I mean, I saw the one with the almost knife arm. That's
the worst part. A knife arm. I'm not okay about that.
Yeah, that it's, as far as I'm aware, none of the corrupted have ever evolved to the point of tool usage.
I don't
so
even.
Somebody is doing that to them.
Yeah. Do you remember that zombie game I used to play?
Yeah. Seems very poignant now, but
yeah, fucking the Citizen. What was it? Citizen bad guys. Oh, that's so awful. But yeah, it's it's a very cheesy series.
Yearsy.
But just all those zombie movies, okay?
Yeah, I've seen
the
Night
two of us.
Head.
Like, come on, no, I'm not about this.
Yeah, if George Romero taught me anything from zombie films, it's not to trust the government. I guess whenever we go get food, I'm gonna try to find a scientist and talk to them, get a feeling from them. But yeah, we can, if anything, lie, say we're gonna bring one in, get some supplies, and then continue heading east.
Y'all are haters. I think that in the shower, Mina and Elaine are maybe having a similar conversation, but Mina is all in, totally this seems like a good deal.
It seems like a deal, for sure. I don't know if I would go all the way as to say a good one. I don't know. It's just hard to believe that any of these people here actually know how to deal with what's out there. You know what I mean?
I mean,
people are bringing in live corrupted all the time. I don't believe that. Because they're not even easy to kill. I can't imagine it's any easier to catch them and then carry them or transport them without losing something in the process.
Yeah, well, I mean, the guy we got the flyer from certainly did, but still,
Exactly.
I mean, if we're going to have to deal with them anyway, I mean, doesn't it sound nice coming back to a base with hot water and electricity and guaranteed food?
I mean, you're not wrong. I do like those aspects. I just wonder if, I don't know, it seems like it's easier to avoid or kill them than it is to try to take them alive for whatever it is we're getting it for. And I'll buy that they're going for a cure. But why? What was with the knife hands? That's bugging me. Because the lady at the gate did not seem surprised to see it. We were surprised. We were very surprised to see it. So either that means multiple people have brought knife hands back, or she's seen it before somewhere else. And to be honest, Biscuit Muncher did not look like she leaves this place very much.
What could possibly be the point of weaponizing them even more?
I don't know. Who benefits? I guess who benefits out of any of this?
I mean, if what that guy Tucker said was right, all or a lot of Baron Corp's locations are doing this.
And if there are that many doing this, and it's been 5 years, you'd think they would have made some progress. And maybe they have and they haven't shared it. Maybe they have and it's of limited quality or quantity, and maybe they're... I don't know why they'd bother slapping a price tag on it in this day and age, in this economy. But here we are.
I mean,
I do
maybe that's
like it.
part
I
of
wanna
the
like it.
benefit of working here, though, is if they do figure something out, we could be on the inside, on the sort of first line of people.
That's true. My other qualm, I don't know, babe. You really want to spend all your time in this place? On farms? There are forests. There are better places.
Wow.
There's so many people here.
I think that Mina leans up and sort of on her tippy tiptoes and kisses you on the nose and says, if there are too many people around, that's one thing. But if it's just the location, I mean, there are Baron Corps all around the country. We could maybe transfer somewhere a little nicer, get back to the mountains.
Maybe we see how difficult it really is to catch one. Maybe we'll find out it's not that hard if you set a good trap. And if that's the case, okay, we can become corrupted bounty hunters. Because that always seemed cool in the Star Wars movies. And if it's not easy, then we find a good forest and we make a good cabin and we just put up a lot of barbed wire.
Yeah, I mean, either way, at least we're getting some hot water and safe rest out of it for a night, at least a night.
At least a night. We can enjoy it while it lasts.
Incredible. Yeah, and so that wraps that up, I think. And then we your shower is done, I think, and then Siobhan and Sabrina have a chance to also use the shower if you like. Yeah.
It's probably been weeks since we had something like this, so it's like I'm not passing this up.
It's been cold streams in the Appalachian Mountains prior to this. So yeah, I think as that's going on, I would like both Alyssa and Ferris to roll intelligence driving for me as they are in the shower. As Siobhan and Sabrina are in the shower.
Oh,
so once you're out, yeah.
Are we driving the shower?
You are driving
Is someone
to the
a
shower.
bunker on a trailer while we're in the shower?
Somebody has hitched it, and you are moving now. No. Please, intelligence driving.
This is not going to go well.
I hope it doesn't.
Navarre, I know you said she wanted us to roll worse. I got a -2 total.
Oh, no.
That's my roll.
Oh dear.
I got a 12.
You got a 12. Okay. Okay. So
We stole our truck.
partial success for Ferris. So with the partial success, take one stress, please. You are going to... You hear the sound of a vehicle outside moving. It doesn't sound like it's coming from next to your building, but it sounds like it sounds loud enough that you can hear it, and that's about all you can get out of it. For Alyssa, that is a crit fail. Incredible. Thank you. Feasting over here. So you are going to take 3 stress. What does that put you at?
It just puts me at 3.
Okay, you are not stressed. Okay, so you're at 3 stress now. You are also going to be compromised, which is not something that we've talked about on this yet. So when you get compromised, anytime you roll a natural 1, you take on the compromise condition. In combat, it is very bad, and we'll get to that, I hope, when I combat you next. But for now, in this social situation, I would like to know, what does Mina, in this situation, what do you give away? What is it about your just state of well-being that you give away to your partner in this moment?
I think that Mina is really desperate for this to work out in a way that doesn't align with the rest of the group. And Elaine might be the most sort of willing to sort of see how this plays, but she's still sort of hesitant. And I think Mina is like, no, I've seen it. I've looked around. I've seen the man with moonshine in his coat. Like, I've seen the woman eating crackers, and I want this life.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you think, like, is that like a verbal expression, or what is it about you that like gives that away? What is it about Mina that gives that away?
Yeah, I think that while they were talking about it, and even afterwards, as they're sort of like drying off and getting settled in the room, it's just a lot of like Mina's just like body language and affect being extremely like pleased and relaxed in a way that you haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah. So Elaine sees that and sees this kind of like really like a change in demeanor, right? And you were just talking about like how sort of uncomfortable you are with this, how much you would prefer a different location and a different setting and a different group of people. And I think in this moment, it almost seems like, while maybe Mina has done everything that she can do to like express that she's heard you, it does not seem as though physically or body language wise that she has taken that on. Like, it's very much of like, yeah, I heard what you said, but also like, I'm excited and this is the thing that I want now. And so, yeah, I think is it for Aubrey and Aki, are the two of your characters, are they having any other discussions in the shower that you guys want to do, or would you like to just move forward?
I think we had the discussions. I mean, maybe we're reminiscing about the last time we had an actual shower. Like, oh, remember that place where we lived in Chicago?
Yeah.
Like the fucking walk-in shower.
For sure.
Okay, listen, I grew up with bucket showers. I've been trying to replicate the correct boiling temperature, and I've been failing. Like astronomically every single time. It's either too hot and you have to wait a bit, or it's not warm enough and it's like lukewarm-ish cold. It's a lame shower is what it is. It's a sad one. You might as well just take a cold one in the stream, because at least then that's exciting. Like like that that's what Sabrina is like talking about. It's just like, yeah, it's like one day I'll figure out this temperature, like, and when I do, we're not gonna care about anyone else, because we're gonna always have warm showers.
No longer being scalded. Yeah.
You know what I need? I need one of those temperatures thermometers. There you go. That's what we need to find, like a run for the turkey or something.
I don't think my human thermometer, I don't know, would work very well on that.
Yeah, the one for the dogs, and we all know how that's done on dogs. So yeah, so you guys are able to finish. I think everybody's like, you're back into some your quote unquote clean clothes, the ones that you weren't wearing now, but are they clean in the apocalypse? Who knows? Yeah,
They're clean enough. I'll
yeah, they're
probably
clean
enough.
spend.
they're
yeah,
not.
I will.
They can't stand on their own, and that's good enough.
Yeah, I will probably spend time later, literally cleaning everyone's clothes because I know how to do it.
Yeah,
Does this
pretty
place have
decently.
anything like a laundry?
Tucker didn't say. You'd have to find out.
They have hot water, and they have to
It's
take
not
care
like
of
an
everything
in-unit
else.
thing. You just open up the closet. You're like, washer dryer.
Like, I feel like
No,
surely they
not-
have, if not a
not in the
laundromat,
Yeah,
then like
yeah.
laundry facilities. They may be hand washed, but
Mhm.
still.
Yeah.
Just hand wash them in the bath. Like we can just like.
We
I
got a
mean,
thing.
yeah.
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then we.
I
can
just
hang-
would
we can
hope
even
they have
hang
like
them.
a dryer is really all I want is a dryer. Hand washing, easy. Hand drying takes time. It just takes time.
For sure. Yeah, so you all finished that, and are we headed to the mess hall after this?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I think Sabrina does want to say something, so that way we're all because she's the one that's the most against this place.
Yeah,
so she
for
would
sure.
probably be the most anxious to make sure that we're all on the same track. And she'll just when we're all like, I guess, chill
Yeah.
and ready to go, she'll be like, "We're not actually doing this, right? We're just staying the night and going."
Why not? We could at least try one, see how hard it is.
You realize they keep live corrupted in here, and when eventually, and they will, get out, this is like a nice little animal playpen where we're the animals and they're the kids that get to come in.
I am on team leave in the morning right
I mean,
now.
we could also just say that we're gonna do it, grab supplies, and then leave. They'll think we're dead.
I mean, I imagine they watch their supplies closely enough that we couldn't grab more than they're willing to give us for a day.
That's still more than enough.
I mean, a day's worth of driving, we can get to somewhere else.
And then what?
Continue surviving.
Yeah, I mean, it's
With no shelter we can rely on, no constant, reliable source of anything.
I would not call this reliable. Clearly, we have
No,
to
but
work
it's a
a
start.
very we have to work a very dangerous job to maintain these. You ever heard of a union?
Yes.
Okay, great. These are the conditions that a union would 100% form and revolt. And sure,
we
it's
can
the
start a
apocalypse.
we can start a union.
After they make us hunt, and if we live long enough, it's only 3 days. There's 4 of us. That's not even a day for each of us.
No, it's 3 days for all of us.
is it?
Yeah, it is as for the whole group.
No,
Oh,
it is. I'm talking about in numbers. If they were to pay us fairly, it should be at least a day counting per person that goes.
Maybe we
Sure,
can negotiate.
It's 3. No, I'm not about it. I don't want to negotiate with. Look at what they're going to be making. Like anybody here with a. I do not. This facility does not scream vaccine.
I mean, why are you so much more opposed to hunting down corrupted with the promise of security than to just fighting them regardless? I mean, we were attacked by 2 this morning with nothing to get from it. And it's not like you'll be doing any hunting or fighting anyway.
You realize I have to come with you, right? And you're putting my wife in danger, right?
With this arrangement, you wouldn't necessarily have to. You could get a different job here that
But
lets
they're
you
not
stay at the
gonna
base.
take that first. They've made that clear. I'm not about this, and I'm not gonna stay in a base where they keep live corrupted. When they get out, we're fucked.
How is that any different from the world out there? And anyway,
at least the world out there, I know who I'm traveling with. I know if I'm gonna die, at least I will die, like, free.
The people working in the facility have clearly been here for a long time. It's not like they've had turnover because they've had corrupted escapes.
That we're aware of.
Yeah, you don't know that. I mean, if you really want to stay here, you can stay here. But we're going.
Look, I'm gonna try to talk to one of the scientists or somebody tonight. There's something about here that just doesn't feel right. I mostly just kind of want to get answers to Johnny Knife Hands.
I don't disagree with you, particularly about Johnny Knife Hands. I just also think, I don't know, it might be worth giving it a shot.
There is no harm in lying, taking what we can get, and going. Then there is committing to whatever this is.
I don't think doing it once means we're stuck doing it forever.
But then they'll know us better.
Yeah, which means maybe next time we roll through, they'll offer us a better job. We prove ourselves capable with one.
You guys were barely capable with the free roaming zombies today.
We were caught off guard by one that was armed.
Yes, and we're going actively towards them. We're not just going and
less armed, at least.
What? You think they're gonna be less armed? I think that they're fucking glowing knives to corrupted.
We don't know what that's about.
There are scientists in a locked up facility asking for live corrupted. What do you think it's for?
I don't know. None of us know.
I don't.
We can only
know.
Speculate.
Don't you know the meaning of mind your own damn business?
So we're just gonna go out and continue encountering perhaps stabby corrupted or regular corrupted, and we're gonna get nothing for it?
We're barely getting anything for it this time. We're
getting more than we're getting now, which is nothing.
Okay, so how about this? When your partner dies out in the field, what are you getting out of it? You don't come back with a nice shiny corrupted, but if your partner dies out there, what are you getting out of it?
I'm not getting anything out of it anyway.
So don't risk it.
It's still a risk. It's the same risk. The only thing that's different is that if we went for it, we could get something instead of putting in all the effort just to survive and getting nothing out of it. Scavenging is doing us no good. We barely have enough fuel to get to wherever the heck we're going next.
What's further east? You don't even know what's further east.
Neither do you.
Exactly, and I'm willing to take a better shot over there than promise to get a live corrupted, LIVE, live corrupted, and go hunt one. Look, you're great in the field. Both of you are fan-fucking-tastic. All three of you are much better than me. But none of you are hunters. None of you are military personnel. Barely one of you got a black belt in, I don't know, fucking Taekwondo or something. It's not gonna work. It is not gonna work. And it's not gonna work for long. We can get lucky and get 3 days. That's nothing. That's nothing. A little bit of hot water and you're happy and you're fine? When your neighbor is a corrupted in a cage? Come on.
It's better than our neighbor being a corrupted out of a cage outside of here. And anyway, like you said, you're not good in the field, so maybe you shouldn't be the one making all of our decisions about what happens in the field and what the actual danger is in the field when you're not the one undertaking any of it.
You are hardly a leader, and you're barely a follower.
I mean, if I'm supposed to be following you, I'm happy about that.
I've been alive. I can drive. I didn't charge
Congratulations. Good
head
luck
first.
driving. Good luck driving when you don't have any fuel and you don't have any food and you have to pull over on the side of the road and just die? Like,
I'm not doing this.
You hear a knock at the door.
Oh?
I will go over and open the door.
You see a swaggering Tucker chilling, leaning against the door frame. Hey, hit my break. Figured I'd come by and see if y'all were ready to come get some food, but sounds a little tense in here.
Weird.
Wasn't sure if I was gonna knock, but I was already leaning on the door. I stood here too long. I've had too much, but I would love to be able to walk y'all over there. If it's the time, are you hungry? You seem hungry. Not to be rude, you seem hungry.
yeah, I think that one's a little hangry. We would love for you to lead us to the mess hall.
Okay.
She wants your job.
Hey, everybody wants Tucker's job. And he walks away and expects you to follow.
I'll just take Mina's hand and go after him. Yeah.
I imagine we will trail in slightly different groups.
So Tucker walks and you could see him kind of like he's looking around suspiciously, and you see the reason why after a second as he doesn't see anybody and reaches into his jacket and takes a little nip of his moonshine and reaches back. Anybody want some?
Mina will sort of reach forward and take a little shot.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, take as much as you need. It's a decent sized flask, not enough to still fit in his pocket, but
Yeah, I think she sort of takes a swig and has not drunk in a minute, in a while.
Yeah. And it tastes good. If there's one thing that Kentucky is really fucking good at, it is making booze. So, and tobacco. But yeah, and horses. They're good at a few things. I lived there for 2 years. But yeah, so do you hand it back after you take a pretty decent drink?
Yeah, I mean, I'll hand it to Elaine if she wants any, but then I'll hand it back to Tucker.
Mm-hmm. Drink.
Yeah, I think I will actually take a sip for once because it's been a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you offer it back to your other two friends? Friends might be a strong word right now.
I'll offer it to Siobhan.
Okay.
I will not.
You have to reach past Sabrina to offer it to Siobhan.
I think I just reached it back without looking, but
No,
I
I move back, and Sabrina will just like look to Tucker and be like, I don't drink.
Hey, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, I'd much rather keep a clear head tonight, anyways.
Okay. More for me. And shakes it and puts it back in his pocket.
Enjoy, Tucker.
I only got a couple hours left. It'll be all right. You just see like there's like a line of like 4 people just waiting at a desk that's empty now. You start to walk past like the main corner of the main building, and as you come around, I think there's a moment that clicks in for sure in Elaine's head of you remember hearing a loud vehicle, and you can see down at the other end of the building now there is what appears to be a semi with a box trailer behind it that's parked. It's not on anymore, but it is parked there, and it was not there when you arrived. And Tucker starts to lead you to the main door to take you into the mess hall.
We all see that?
Yeah, I would say because of everything going on, let's roll for this. I will say if you would like to notice it, everybody. Well, so Elaine doesn't have to roll, but everybody else, if you'd like to notice it, I will say, give me a. Let's do judgment investigation. I think this would be seeing how the things changed in the space.
$21.
You.
I have a plus 9 to this. This is the
shit.
Yeah. It's
okay. Yeah.
And I'm gonna
I
be
rolled a
rolling
19 and I have a plus 6.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna state out loud, I am actively always paying attention to things, to my surroundings. I don't feel safe in this place. I'm actually fine with taking more stress over time, because I don't feel safe here. I don't like it here. And I am not staying here. Like that's Sabrina's mind. It's very like made up. There's live corrupted here somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, like it's at the back of her head. She's not gonna be happy. I don't think she's gonna sleep either. So like I'm okay with you just actively being like, Aki, 10 stress. You know, like just
Jeez. I will say
because I'm not happy.
If you are ever in a situation for any of you that you feel like you want to take stress, even if we haven't rolled for anything, you absolutely can. And I think what we could do, because this isn't like technically a mechanic in there, I think that what we can do though is similar to what we did at the beginning of the first session, is that you can decide that and then roll a d4, and whatever the d4 is, that's the stress you take from that situation. If you all think that that's fair. Yeah. So,
I took stress from that argument.
Yeah, for sure. I'm stressed out personally.
I got a 17. Does that get me out of being compromised?
I would say you dealt with the compromise. Yeah,
okay.
For sure. Yeah. So yes, so the 17 will get you out of it. Yeah. Which means that you have a success. So, yeah. So your stress is still going to be the same. You haven't reduced it at all, but you are no longer compromised, and you notice the truck. So you all see the semi at the end of the building as Tucker is bringing you through the doors, and he holds the door open for you. And if you can just mark down your stress, I do need to know if you hit 4 for any of you who rolled those
literally
D4s.
the first time I've rolled all night.
Yeah.
I want us to roll a d4 and then -1 for how much stress we take when we decide we want stress.
This is going to be just a straight up D4.
Oh, okay.
For this specific thing that we're doing today.
Okay.
Well then, so ironically, I decided to roll a d4 for the fight to see how much stress I would take. I took 2, then I crit, so I'm at 1.
Yeah.
Once again, let's go.
Yes. Yeah.
I took 3 stress from that fight, so
Okay.
I'm at 5.
You're at 5 now. Perfect. Yes. So I'm so excited. I'm going to be excited every time that they fail, y'all, just because it brings on more mechanics. So you take stress. So you are now at conflict level 1. So if the audience, I don't think is privy to these, but we all wrote down different conflicts that our characters would have with each other or the situations. So you can pick one conflict that is on your list. And basically, we're just going to answer the question of conflict level 1. So how does your current stressors reflect or remind you of your conflict?
Oh boy, which conflict to pick?
Nah. Y'all are stressed because not only did Sabrina have very good, valid points, but then she read you. She read you so hard. Especially fucking Alyssa. Apologize for that, but at the same time, that was fucking my sister when she like in the background. I don't know if my mic picked that up, but she was
so,
like,
but yeah.
she was like, shit. She told me to calm down.
I know. I was hiding behind my mic.
I think the obvious conflict is the one with Sabrina, how Sabrina doesn't want us to do this mission. And all of that jazz.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's very, very on the nose here, and just like this whole situation is a pure reflection of it. And I think it is emblematic of that fight, of that argument, of just like this is coming to a head already before you all have even started.
Yeah. Plus, I think it's also, I don't know. I don't know if I need to add more to this, but I feel compelled to.
Yeah.
How Mina desperately wants to stay. So even though Elaine, honestly, not really all that jazzed about this thing, but because Mina wants it, that's why she's fighting for it.
Yeah, for sure. That is definitely stressful. 100%. So yeah, Alyssa, Mina is also at 5. So
I also just hit 5.
Yeah, so same question. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it does make sense that it's the same conflict, and also I think there's a part of her that's sort of leaning into the very willingness to leave Sabrina behind or use her as bait, which Siobhan isn't a fan of. And I think that sort of comes out in Mina thinking like, well, Siobhan or Sabrina's the problem here. Like, she can just leave and we can be unit of 3 and that's fine.
Yeah. So, yeah. Incredible. So there's another thing that happens as well, is one, we do these questions for each conflict level. The other thing that happens is that you falter. So how over this walk, over this fight, do your characters falter? What does that look like for the other characters?
I think that for Mina, it's grabbing back the flask and taking another swig, just wanting to prove that like this is fine and this is safe and this is a good place to be. Like, I don't need to be on guard because we're fine here.
Love it.
I think for Elaine, I think she takes a moment to go into the mess hall and just sort of stops and stares at the truck for a long time. No thoughts, head empty, but just staring at the truck like it means something, but she doesn't know what it means.
Yeah. And
there's a part of her brain that's like, hey, this could kill you. Go eat lunch.
Go eat lunch, yeah. Yeah. And I think as like you're having that moment, is everybody walking through the doors, basically?
I was gonna draw attention to the truck.
Yeah.
Especially when we see it, Tucker's in the door, and I just go, what's up with that? Are they bringing in supplies from somewhere else or taking something somewhere?
No, that is, well, we call him Cowboy, but he's basically the best hunter that we've seen. Him and his crew. Likely it's probably a truckload of them that they caught. He usually brings in at least 10, and then he comes here and, well, he likes to party. He has a good time, but he's good at what he does.
I wish to take on stress because you just said a truckload of 10 live corrupted, and I look at everybody and went, wow, 10. Perfect for a party. Could kill us all.
Yeah, Tucker says at least 10 excitedly.
Could kill us all.
You definitely see the concern on Siobhan's face at this.
Yeah.
There you go. Just for you. Rolled 3, so I'm at 4.
Okay. Yeah, so same thing. So if you're going to do the same conflict, then we kind of know what it is. But yeah, so how does your current stressors reflect or remind you of your conflict? And how does Sabrina falter in this situation?
There's so many ways I can do it. I've technically been doing all of them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and it can be well, I would say just because you hit it during this specific instance, how does it come out now because of this specific instance? And it doesn't have to be verbal either. It can just be something that's like reflected in body language or just internally for the time being.
A conflict will be with Mina because just because Mina's desperate doesn't mean I am. one of those type of things. And also, she's putting my wife in like constant danger, so I'm not about it.
Yeah.
I think how my falter will be, it's going to be malicious compliance. You want to do it? Fine, let's go do it. Like, it's going to be like that. You really want to? Sure,
Yeah.
let's go do it. Absolutely. And then whatever happens in the field's going to happen. Like, that is kind of her mind on this. You want to do this? Sure. You want to get 3 days? Sure. Let's see what happens in 3 days. Let's see if we can even get 3 days. You know, it's getting to a very
petty.
Yeah, no, I would say it's like you poke a bear in a cage, like that kind of vibe.
Yeah. So I think like Tucker is very much just head empty himbo, and so he cannot read the room. So to him, he's just like, "Yep, cool. Yeah, I mean, 3 nights. That's like I said, that's where we start." And so he brings you all in, and I think that there's a moment where like Elaine is trying to process this, and everything is kind of like that effect of like everything is kind of just muffled and the words aren't really catching. And so you feel a hand sort of tap you on the arm as Tucker's waiting. He's already ushered everybody in, and he's like, "Hey, are you coming inside?"
Yeah. Yep.
All right, yeah. Like I said, just right through here. And so he leads you through, and it is a pretty short walk. It's like 30, 40 feet in to the right, and you enter a mess hall, and it is clean. It is bright. There are tables. You can see that there's like a staff of people who are managing like the food stores and all of like the cooking and stuff. And you see an assortment of people who look like they are just survivors. People who look like they are part of the militia, and you see two scientists that are sitting at a table. They're sitting at the same table, but they are sitting apart from each other.
Once I get some food, like I'm also gonna like make it known to at least Sabrina and whoever else is just being like sort of point to the scientists, and gonna make we'll sit down after getting some food.
Yeah, let me show you. And he's like, just basically just, you're already in the building, so nobody's gonna question whether or not you have the right to eat here. Just grab a plate, head on over, and get some food. And he is going to usher you that direction, and then he's going to like stand behind and just let the 4 of you go first.
Let's get food. What is the food? Is it even worth coming back for?
Oh, it's worth coming back for. You see that there are breads aplenty. Like I said, you saw the guard before eating rolls. It looks like there are rolls that are just like fresh out of the oven. You see that there are an assortment of vegetables. Everything smells like it's been seasoned pretty well. You see that there is a tray of fried chicken, and you see that there are mashed potatoes. Like it's a very like hearty meal, stuff that like can be made in as a staple and continuously, and it is it's the best looking food you've seen in probably years.
Better than Sun Chips.
It's better than Sun Chips for sure.
Elaine takes at least. Is there a limit to how much a person can put on their plate? Like, is it dished out and you get what you get, or is it like a buffet style? Like, we gotta know what we're getting for our efforts here.
Yeah, for sure. There are still people there like managing how much you're taking, because obviously like it still has to be rationed to an extent, and so you're getting healthy servings of each thing, but it's not like it's not a buffet style. But they're using the big spoon.
Okay.
Well, I go and sit not like next to, but same table as the scientist.
Okay.
and start a conversation pretty innocuous, like, hell of a thing they got going on here.
You see both scientists look over at you.
Mm-hmm.
You see one of the scientists, they have like tan skin. They have these brown eyes, this jet black hair that is pulled back into a ponytail, and they seem to have, like, even their lab coat and their clothes underneath seem to be cleaned. They look over at you and they smile and they say, yeah, we do all right. And you see the other scientist who is across, who has sort of this brown hair that's cut short and like a darker brown skin, and she seems to have like sort of like mousy features, and she looks up slightly and looks back down. And I think that without having to roll, Sabrina recognizes this as the scientist who was acting squirrely earlier in the day. You're the only one that can identify this person, but you immediately, as you're sitting down, you see that this is that person. But yeah, the other one says, yeah, we do all right.
Yeah, I mean, we were driving through. We found like one of the pamphlets, so we thought we'd kind of make this place is legit. One corrupted for all of this. It's like, are you doing some sort of? I don't know scientific jargon out of character. Gonna throw some scientific jargon in there for like doing these specific tests to. What like one would do for cultures and to study the thing itself, like asking these kind of questions, being like, I know science and things like that, and medicine and all of that.
Yeah. Let's. This is just be fun. Give me you're gonna roll high on this, I'm sure, but give me, just for funsies, let's do an intelligence medicine roll.
Cool. I mean, that's a 21.
Okay.
I rolled low, but I have
those are like your two best modifiers.
9.
Yeah. So I was just hoping for a natural one. That's all. I think with that, you are able to convey, like, I have a level of understanding of this stuff, and I think that they kind of sit back, finish chewing, and look at you sort of with this face that says that they are impressed, and they say, yeah, I mean, basically you kind of hit the nail on the head. We are doing everything we can to try to find a cure for this thing. The more that the tough part about the corruption is that it doesn't last long when it doesn't have a source to feed off of. So we don't necessarily want to, create a culture of it, right? We don't want to encourage it to grow here, but that's why we continue to get new corrupted in, is because then we can kind of go at it from the source with a human host. And it's fascinating work what we do. And I think when they say it's fascinating work what we do, the other scientist, she kicks back her chair a little bit and gets up in a rush and walks away and carries her food. Don't mind her. She's just a little stressed. We've had a rough week this week. It's just not a lot of results, not a lot of good results.
I totally understand that. I mean, I was a veterinarian before. Well, now I understand, like, coming at a problem different ways, and it's absolutely fascinating some of the things we've seen out there. I'm going to describe Johnny Knife Hands,
Mhm.
this thing like it, and be like, just today when we were on our way here, we ran into a corrupted, and it appeared like somebody had turned his arm into a weapon, like sawed off the bone and almost made it serrated. I've never seen corrupted use tools, so I don't think it was one of them. Somebody's clearly doing this to them. And I'm also hoping that Sabrina, I think rather natural bullshit detector, is gonna be like vibe checking this whole thing as I perform.
I was gonna say, like, I didn't want to interrupt. I wanted you to do your whole thing, and then I was gonna say afterwards, I'm watching. That's my fucking wife. I'm with the squirrely scientist, and I really don't care. That's my priority.
Yeah. They, as you're telling this story, they look shocked, concerned, confused. That's what their face is giving you. And they're like, I mean, that's not what we do here.
I didn't think it was what you do here. I was just wondering if you'd encountered this before. Is this a thing that somebody is doing?
I mean, it's, you never know what you're going to get into out in the wild out there, right? Like I'm lucky. I sit back here and I do my research, and I've got this place. But people, they get into all kinds of weird stuff out there, and you never know what somebody's going to try to do of their own accord. I'm sorry, I don't know what direction points you in, if that's something you're trying to investigate or whatever it is, but that it definitely doesn't seem like something that'd come from here. And if you would like to, whoever wants to do this can do a judgment. Let's do judgment psychology to see how well you can pick apart this response to your question.
Oh, I'm not bad at that. Yeah, it is a 19.
Okay.
What? Did you get another natural 20, Aki?
No, but I rolled an 18 plus 5, so 23. Judgment is my best.
Yeah.
And I had 1 in psychology. Thank God. So.
Mina and Elaine are the two of you. Are the two of you even sitting here? I guess we should talk about that.
I think so. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I think that I started sitting here, but I think I want to follow the other scientist after she peels off. So I am not here at this particular second.
Okay. Are you, for the sake of the story, are you trying to hide the fact that you're following her, or are you are you trying to do this like sneakily, or are you just going for it?
No, I think I'm gonna grab my drink and go over to her and be attempting to be comforting, but that can happen after.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Okay. So yeah, for Elaine then.
The cowboy hasn't come into the mess hall yet, has he?
Not that you've seen. No.
Okay.
You certainly don't see anybody that would give anything away that would tell you oh, that's cowboy.
No cowboy hats. Got it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then I think that she would have sat at the scientist table. And I rolled a 10.
Okay. So, take that point of stress. And you are going to, okay. Yeah. So I'll say we'll start with Elaine. So Elaine, you are listening to this and you think, yeah, everything seems genuine. Seems perfectly fine. I would say that for Siobhan, and then more so for Sabrina, it seems like they are being genuine in that this isn't a thing that they've done, but it seems like there's also a piece missing. And I think that for Sabrina, you get the sense of this person doesn't seem like they are connected to that at all. But what they do seem like is they probably have an idea of where it came from. And something about this seems to you like you're picking up, like something about this seems like it might be connected to the other scientists that got up and walked away. And that's just like this hunch that you're getting, I think, as things are playing out. But yeah, they just continue like, yeah, I mean, that's, you know, listen, we've seen any number of, you know, raiders, self-stylized hunters out there that do a lot of wild and weird stuff. And I just, yeah, I don't know. The best advice I could give you is just stay safe and stay away. Unless, of course, you're trying to capture them for us, which, and then I encourage you and thank you for your time. And kind of just like, they laugh at their own joke.
Is there a difference in terms of capturing the ones that have modifications versus regular ones? And also in terms of reward, both scientifically and food-wise?
I mean, something like that, modified. That's not something, like I said, we don't really see that. So I would say, as far as I know, probably not. But you're always welcome to take it up with the Garza Pro. They handle a lot of that payment and stuff. I just do my research and sometimes take a break for food.
Sure. Just wasn't sure if they were different on a scientist level.
Yeah, I mean, for me,
Like
honestly, the less opportunity they have to hurt me when I'm trying to do any kind of research, obviously that's better for me. So I avoid any kind of knife arm corrupted as I can.
Smart.
Let's jump over to Mina. You follow this woman. Excuse me. She is walking off in a rush. She has her tray. She kind of sets it down where all like the dirty trays go and starts to walk to the door. And I think as she exits the door and starts to turn is when you catch up to her. What is it that you say to stop her, or what do you do?
I think Mina sort of reaches out, thinks better of actually touching her, and then just says like, "Hey, I'm so sorry if my friend upset you."
And she jumps and like, it's fine. Can I help you with something?
Oh no, I just wanted to apologize. I mean, the work you're doing is so important here, and I'm sure it must be really stressful.
Give me an empathy psychology roll. Let's see how well Mina reads the room.
Yeah, 16.
Okay, that is a success. So yeah, you as you say that about how important the work is, she steps back, and her face doesn't like take on any kind of like pride in that moment or any kind of like acceptance of your praise, but she says, oh, and give yourself back. No, never mind. Sorry. Don't give yourself back any stress. You're good. And she says, thanks. Yeah. Sorry, I got a lot of work to do, so I'm just gonna go. And she's like continuing to back up away from you.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I didn't mean to scare you or anything. I hope to see you around later. I mean, we're hopefully gonna stick around for a bit.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. And she just like turns and walks away.
She's so valid.
Yeah. And so she gets up and she leaves. Do you go back to your food, or you just kind of stay in the hallway and watch where she goes?
Oh no, I did not finish eating, and I am absolutely going back to my food to finish off that tray.
Yeah. Yeah, so you get back to the table, and I think as you're like sitting down, the other scientist is just like, yeah, but look, I mean, you have some skills, so they have their own procedures here about how they do this stuff, and I don't make the rules. But what I will say is, you ever want a tour of where I work in the research facility, kind of get your bearings, you can come see like our surgical unit. Look, I mean, before all this, I owned horses. I owned a horse farm here. We need people that can take care of the horses and the livestock that we still have around. So, like I said, they have the procedures, but check it out. Maybe it's something that you can see that you can see how you can fit into this place. I think it'd be good for you.
Yeah, I look over at him and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna see what you have, what's there to offer here. It's after the last 5 years, it's there's that whole adage about too much of a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. It's if you've been living out there on your own, it's hard to believe. I totally understand. I think, but I can show you that the stuff I'm working on it can be a good thing. So yeah, I got to get back to it. I can swing by later and bring you on to whoever wants to come check it out. You're more than welcome to come, and just give me a couple hours to do what I got to do on my end, and I'm happy to give you a little tour.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and they get up, they're done with their food, they get up and leave, and you are kind of left at the table by yourself. Tucker is off celebrating with other guards, and but yeah, you have this moment now to yourselves.
I mean, the scientists might be a little overworked, but they're offering to show you their lab. You could work with animals again instead of doing field surgery on people who've been attacked by corrupted.
The mousy one knows something's up.
Yeah, that's the feeling I was getting too, and I don't think this is the best place to discuss it.
I mean, she headed back, and Mina will gesture in the direction that she went. Like, she seemed stressed, but not.
Mina, you are a stranger to her, and then you're asking her questions, and she might be doing dangerous work with a party alive corrupted. I really feel like I shouldn't have to keep saying that, but I think I do. Anybody would be stressed. In fact, I'm surprised you are a little less stressed.
Exactly, yeah. Anyone would be stressed, and that, it's a baseline level of stress. It doesn't seem like... Mina sort of leans in a little bit. I think that you're being way too suspicious of this place. Of course, they're stressed, they're doing hard work, and they are working with Live Corrupted, but they feel secure enough to let a stranger into their labs to show us around to see what they're doing. I don't think it's as sinister as you think it is.
It doesn't even need to be sinister at this point. It's the fact that there's 10 possibly Live Corrupted that just came off in a truck. They just need one. They just need one to fuck up. One person's gun to jam. One corrupted to have knife hands to just go ham on all of us. Really, they just need one fuck up. That's it. That's all they need. And all of this goes to shit.
And how do they even catch 10? There's 4 of us.
I want to talk to that guy.
We're having trouble with one.
That's the worst part, okay? There are some fucked up people in this world, and I don't want to think about how easy it was to load 10 into a truck.
I need all of you to give me judgment stealth rolls, please. for
Yeah.
trying not to spread your
Oh.
conversation around the mess hall.
We shouldn't talk about this here. Proceeds to talk about it here.
Pretty good at those.
28.
Yeah. Okay, reduce your stress by 1.
18.
16.
Okay. 16, okay.
Let me add my modifiers, please.
Thank
22.
heavens I had a lot of modifiers because I rolled bad.
You're making me where we are in my groove right now in terms
Yes.
of always having at least +4, and then it was stealth,
Yeah.
so 7.
I mean, at 5 years in, you're already pretty beefy at most of this stuff. So, yeah, perfect. So, Alyssa and Aki get to reduce their stress by 1 from that. You're having this conversation and you're able to keep it sufficiently quiet enough that like nobody seems to be like bothering to like stare at you or try to listen in or anything like that. I think as you're having this discussion and Sabrina talks about her worries about this truckload, you hear the door open and you can hear the laughter of like a raucous group of people, and you see 4 people walk in. They all look like they are decked out in combat gear, and you see one person that they're about 5'6". They are wearing cowboy boots and they have a backwards baseball cap on their head. And somehow in the apocalypse, they've managed to find a rosy red lipstick. And they walk in and you see Tucker raise his flask and he goes, "Cowboy!" And Cowboy cheers and they walk into the room, and he is carrying in his arms a case of what appears to be whiskey. Where you find a case of whiskey in this day and age, who knows? But Cowboy has seemed to do it, and the 3 sort of daunting looking characters that is their entourage is walking behind them, and they all kind of just take a table. One of them goes and grabs food for Cowboy, and they are just having a great time. And you can see like he's looking around the room and he sees all the groups of people, and it's like at the table next to y'all, and leans back a little bit, and he hands over from the neck of the bottle a bottle of whiskey in your direction.
Elaine will take it.
Okay.
And throw it back. Not the whole thing, just like a big showing off a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we'll drop it heavily back on their table.
Oh, no. Yeah, this is yours. You can keep it. I got plenty. Yeah, we managed to raid this old gosh, is there a better word than asshole? We managed to raid this old asshole's home, and he had boxes of this stuff, and I can't drink it all. So this one is yours. Welcome to the collectors.
Seems that's not all you brought back.
It was a light day. We what was it? Hey Jem, what was that? What was the number? Was it 12 we hit? Yeah, it was a light day. See, the key is you can't let them run up on you. No, these fuckers are fast, right? You've seen them. You've been out here. You just got to take the legs out. Once you get the legs, the rest is easy peasy.
How do you handle the knife arms?
Alive. What was that? I'm sorry.
How do you handle the knife arms?
A knife arm?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that I follow.
When they come at you with the bone knife arms, what's your strategy there?
Well, that's an issue. I'm never still I've never seen any with a knife arm before, but I will say, what I do.
You haven't seen that?
I have it. You've seen that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the time.
You know, I'm gonna have to see this because, yeah, I've never seen that before. But what I will say is that the thing that we do is we just make sure they don't get close. Yeah, this group here, they're some of the best shooters I ever met.
So they can still be alive, but riddled with bullet. But as long as they're alive, that's all that matters.
I mean, they wrote it in their fucking Sharpie, right? Alive.
Sure.
That's what I go off of.
And I mean,
and so far they've been happy with me. And he leans back again, and everybody cheers. Tucker over there, just drunk as fuck.
You'd see Siobhan mumble. Technically, if we're splitting hairs, they don't count as alive.
Tucker is a fanboy.
Yeah, Tucker loves Cowboy. Yeah, and
I want to say Sabrina's doing a Virgo thing where it's like nobody can tell that I'm judging them, but her face is like I'm judging you.
yeah.
Sabrina's face is like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like literally, that's probably what is going on now. It's not even a poker face. It's just it's staring in mild confusion and like 30%. I know how I'm about to feel about you in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but he's like, well, I'll let you all get back to it. But if you ever need tips, you know where to find me. He just doesn't like, you absolutely have no idea how to find Cowboy, but he does not bother to wait for you to do that and just goes back to his food. One of their entourage brings a tray, sets it down, and they start to eat.
How far away is their table?
It's close. It's the next table over.
Oh,
like enough that Cowboy was leaning back to hand you the whiskey.
That was so fast, Aubrey. What the heck? I think Elaine will lean towards the table and ask Cowboy, have you been doing this for a long time for these people?
I mean, yeah, so that's the wrong person. I'd probably say I was the first, but I definitely wasn't the first. But yeah, it's been a long, long time.
And
you know, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, they were talking about how if you do well at this, then you can do other things, and we were not doing other things.
You know,
you do well at collecting.
Honest with you, yeah. The thing is, and he gets a dangerous look in his eye, and he's like, I enjoy it. There ain't nothing like it.
Sabrina shakes her head.
Adrenaline junkies. Yeah, I've seen your type.
Yeah. I mean,
you'd fight a bear if you could, right?
I fought a bear.
Mm-hmm.
And squints their eyes at you, like don't question that.
I don't think you fought a bear.
The veterinarian on the other side of the table narrows her eyes.
Park Ranger's like, I don't think so, buddy.
Yeah. Cowboy is not big, but they're all piss and vinegar.
Siobhan, I watched The Revenant.
Yeah. You're telling me that Leo couldn't do it, but I can do it? Yeah, so he's like, I mean, it's, you know, me and my group, we were military before this, hunters after that.
There you go.
And yeah, I mean, you get it, right? Pointing to Sabrina. Like, hey,
I do, yes.
This is what we're good at. You know?
You just proved a point of mine. Thank you. Thank you for existing.
Oh, and he looks at Mina and is like, oh, you're in military too?
Oh, no, not at all. Her point was that we aren't military, so we're not cut out for this work.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. It helps, right? But I've seen other people do it. I'd say don't count yourself out. And it's, look, like I said, I'll give you some tips if you need it. The point is, go out there and have some fun, right? If you ain't enjoying it, what's the point?
If it wasn't enjoyable, would you still do it for the benefits?
That's hard to say, because I cannot imagine not enjoying it.
Here you can. Just picture shooting cans instead.
Yeah, shooting cans instead. I gotta say, if it was like, all right, cowboy, you gotta cook meals for people in order to have meals here. It's I would still do it, I think, because ain't nobody else gonna pay me to cook meals out there. You know what I mean? And where am I gonna get the food to cook the meals? Yeah, I think I'd do it still.
Glances at Sabrina. Oh, look. One of the other points.
He just compared killing live corrupted that used to be humans into cooking meals. I didn't sign up for mild cannibalism, but here we are.
Not that part. Just the fact that where else are you gonna get them?
Look, yeah, I've never eaten a person that I know of. But I will say, it really, once you get the hang of it, I promise you, it gets easier and easier. Just don't be like those people who just I don't want you sneaking up on a corrupted or running up on a corrupted and trying to tackle it. Don't do that stuff. That's bad. That's gonna get you shot. But what we do, just long range. I ain't been hand to hand with the corrupted in 4.5 years. I don't intend to ever again.
In your professional opinion, bear traps would work, right? Like a bear trap. Just seems like the most obvious answer to this situation.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Bear trap ain't working.
Dang.
Because I don't know if you ever noticed, but a corrupted, they don't feel pain.
But it traps the leg, so they can't keep running.
Yeah, but if you don't feel pain, you're just gonna pull it apart.
Well, that's one leg gone.
I mean, yes, if we're talking about slowing it down, take the legs out, sure, but you still got the other leg and arms, and they just move in an ungodly way that I do not like to watch.
That is true.
So, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna eat this fried chicken here. Supposedly have 36 secret ingredients or some shit. You need more whiskey? You know where to find me. And he always sits back down.
One last question for you, cowboy.
Yeah.
Where do you get your lipstick?
Oof. Trade secrets. Bring me something good. I'll get you some for yourself.
What about nail polish?
You know where to find me.
Sure. I'm sure someone does.
Tucker. Cowboy!
Yeah.
Yeah, so Cowboy and their entourage goes back to eating. Do y'all want to do anything else in the mess hall, or would you like to move on from this point?
I don't think there's anything else that I want to do right now.
Okay.
Same. Good to move on.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we'll wrap up here shortly. I know it's late for some of y'all. So yeah, we head on back to rooms, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I will say that as we're heading back to the rooms, Mina sort of leans in towards Elaine and says, "You'd look cuter than them in the cowboy boots."
You're just getting a kiss for that.
Yeah.
You're just so impractical, though. So impractical. The
Cowboy wears
blisters.
like a size 7 shoe also. And I think Elaine's like, what? Yeah.
At least a
What's
10.
taller? Yeah.
At least a 10.
Yeah. And so y'all leave. You get a lifting of the bottle from Cowboy. Tucker does finger guns in your direction. How Tucker is going to go back to work after this, you are not sure. Tucker is not sure. But you head back to your room. I'm curious for Siobhan, are you interested in doing the tour?
And like, so is it getting late at this point?
At this point, I'll say it's like, it's probably late afternoon now. Or like mid-afternoon, like it's gonna be probably mid-afternoon.
Cool. Yeah, if it's mid-afternoon, we'll probably do that.
Okay.
And before any of that happens, as a moment to, we're walking back to the barracks or something. I let the other two go ahead a little bit further. They got a little drink in them. They're feeling a little raucous, probably relaxing a little bit, and just sort of, lean in. Like, I'm just talking quietly to Sabrina. And I will say, if you are if you're incredibly uncomfortable and don't want to stay, say the word.
But the other two don't wanna. Oh. I mean, they can't do it without us.
It's a risk. Look.
It is a risk. Let me try convincing them one more time. And if they're really, really up for this, let me go.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if you can, I guess, work on that. I'm gonna see if I can learn anything by getting the tour.
Sure. Do you have a
AKA.
knife? No, you better take a knife or like a pencil or something with you though, because you're going on a tour. They brought 12.
I will say as well, you've noticed like nobody restricts weapons. There's no restriction. So you've seen like with like Cowboys crew, like they all had their guns and stuff.
I have my bow with me. No one's gonna a bow crossbow on the back. I've got a knife somewhere. I'm not like packing, but I'm normally armed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
Sabrina and Siobhan just plot to leave in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So I think you guys make it back to your little barrack, and are able to like rest for a couple of hours. After a couple of hours, the scientist who invited you on the tour comes and knocks at the door.
Yeah. And I'll go and answer the door and be like, "Hi. Yeah. Did anybody else want to come see the facilities?"
Is that a resounding no?
Yep.
I think the other two are getting very familiar with their good friend Jack.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, they're like, okay, cool. Yeah. Happy to show you. So yeah. Basically we'll kind of head back in the same direction as a mess hall, and then we'll go from there. I'll show you where it is. And so they go in and take you around to the facility. Just to be clear, because I didn't see an actual nodding or anything from Alyssa or Ferris. Both of you are saying no to this as well. right?
Correct.
Okay.
I kind of want to go.
Okay.
I just want to pull Mina aside before I leave. Like, oh, we're gonna have a little make-out session,
Mhm.
and then real quietly in the kiss. I was already planning on this before you had your conversation, but be like, if you really want to stay, we're gonna have to leave them, right?
You don't think that Siobhan might be sold by this tour?
I just think she's gonna do right by her wife in the end. Like I'm gonna do right by you.
That's so gay. That was out of character.
Is it?
No. I know. Do you really not think it's worth it?
I think we have to deal with the risk no matter what we do. It's just a matter of what we're willing to risk. But I'm gonna go on the tour and see what I can learn and see if it sways us either way. Just think about it and try not to fight while I'm gone. Love you.
I won't if she doesn't.
I see no promises. Fair enough. And I will go on the tour.
Yeah, so we can just say like as y'all are walking away a little bit, Elaine runs out and joins the group. And they're like, oh, yeah, great. By the way, I don't think I ever actually introduced myself. I'm Dr. Emerson. You can call me Lev, too. But yeah, I'm happy to show y'all what we got. So head this way. So yeah, we're going to go through here and they like lead you through the mess hall and you can see like they take the same turn that first, the other scientists took, and they go down that hallway. And it's just like rows of like basically like white walls, right? And there's different hallways that kind of lead to different things. Like it seems like maybe offices and stuff like that. And then they get to a part of the building, that is sort of, yes, they have to like pull out their badge and scan themselves in and use the proximity card, and the door opens and they lead you through. And like, yeah, so we have a pretty decent sized staff. There's 15 of us scientists at any given time. We are always kind of just working on stuff. I think it's, for a lot of us, it's really just a passion project thing. We really want to make a difference here. We're fortunate to have been working at a place like we did for Arthur Barron to, put us in a situation after the apocalypse. So, but yeah, you can see here, this is kind of our intake facility where we determine whether or not like the corrupted that are brought in are actually going to be good. And so you can see like there's a scientist there who like kind of like looks back briefly and goes back to their clipboard as a restrained corrupted is being brought in on a dolly by a guard, and they're just like strapped down, kind of like writhing. You can see the black eyes oozing this inky fluid. So just determine viability, whether or not we can actually use the specimen to determine if we can do something with it. Each person's bio makeup is different, and we never know what we're going to find that's going to help sort of achieve this thing. It's pretty fascinating. And so brings you through that and goes into another room, and you can see like where there's a group of scientists that are like actually doing like chemical work and working under microscopes and stuff like that. And he's like, have you messed with it out in the field? Like, have you looked at the way that the corruption works? Have you seen that?
A little bit, but I haven't really gotten to... People weren't my thing before.
Yeah. No, yeah, I get it. Like I said, I love my horses. One of the things that I think is really fascinating about it is that what seems to attract the corruption to us is this iron in our blood, right? And so if you've ever seen any of them that have been like stuck to a light post or a metal building, like it's something about that iron in there in the compound that attracts them. And when we realized that, we started to like, how can we make this work with blood and get that going? And so it's stumped us so far. But I'm really excited to show you this next thing. And so they open another door and they walk through, and all these doors just closing behind you. And you get to another room, and it's this kind of open space, and it has all of these different rooms with these like full-on glass walls with this thick glass. And they turn and they say, "This is the gallery." We call it the gallery. Obviously, you can see this is some of the different types of corrupted that we found, that it seemed to be just a little unique. Something about them is different. Now, points to this window, and you see it's like almost, it seems like it's basically completely covered with corruption. Like the window is just almost fully blacked out. And it's like, you've seen them. I call them squids, right? Because they got the tentacle thing going on that's just writhing around. For some reason, like this one is just expanding so much, and we can't figure out what it is about it. Like this window is not even metal, and something about it. I love it. And shows you the next one, and it's like this one's just like running, and it's got like almost like this padded walls, and it's like running into them, and it starts to just like sees you and starts banging on the walls, and it is it looks almost like its body is like bulging, like the muscles in it have like expanded to create this overly muscular creature, and it's like slamming against the window, and it waves a little bit, right? More than you would want it to in this situation. And sometimes when people when they fight back a lot during the process, it seems like something triggers in them. The adrenaline maybe interacts in a certain way with the corruption, in a way that we can't replicate it in a test tube, unfortunately. And it just creates these, massively powerful. And then we have a bunch of different unique ones over here, and it turns and there's an assortment of corrupted. And I think all of this in this moment is just sort of overwhelmingly too much information, and this person is way too fascinated by all of this. Mm-hmm. And I think I need both of you to last roll of the night. Give me a let's do a judgment alertness roll.
Oh, thank heavens. Those are my things.
Yeah, it's a 23.
Okay.
24. 24? Okay. 24. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 24.
So, yeah,
25. I don't know. It's above 20 by more than one number.
Reduce your stress by one for both of you. And so as they are explaining this, you hear behind you in the room that was like the window was all blacked out. You hear the sound of like a dripping hitting the floor.
Oh no.
Drip, drip. And then you hear a cracking as the corruption that was in there has seeped through the sides seal of the window and is using that pressure to just cave it in. And I think as we're going to end the session tonight, the window shatters.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, no.
Thank you for splitting the party.
I'm glad I went, because I would have hated for Siobhan to be alone. But also,
his character died.
Wow. To be here.
Now you both can die together.
At least we both had like heartfelt words with our significant others before we left. Like,
we are the two parties, like the fighters.
Yeah, I mean, like I think We're gonna be.
We have the best chance.
We have a chance. We have a chance. I said I love you before I left. I can go with a clear conscience.
I told you to bring your weapons because I wanted you to stay safe.
That's I love you in another way.
That is. I hate my priorities were still straight. I was always protecting my wife, but I'm not trying to subdue what she wants to do. She wants to go on this thing. I went at least make sure. I said at least bring a knife, and she went. I'll do one better, babe. I'll bring all my weapons.
This one, I think not.
Mm-hmm. I love this.
Incredible. Yeah.
I love this. I just need you to know next time we attempt a recording of this, it's just gonna be Sabrina going, I told you so, I told you so. Is my wife okay? It's literally two things. It's gonna be two track mind. My wife.
I'm gonna love the cuts between vicious action, fighting for our lives, and awkward silence in the hotel room.
Yes. The ideas I have cooked up. Well, thank you again. I'm so excited. This has been a fantastic session. A lot of fun characters to introduce. We finally got to interact with some of the stress mechanics, which I'm very excited about. Hopefully there will be more of those. I'm very excited for y'all to deal with them in combat because it changes the way that you have to deal with it.
I still have 5, I think.
Hey everybody, Aubrey here with a fun little announcement. Goblets and Gaze is now an affiliate over at Adventure Dice, and we know how much we all love those math rocks. So if you need some new math rocks in your life, go over to adventuredice.ca and in the checkout code, enter our promo code GOBLETS for 10% off. But also, they have dice. They have other TTRPG accessories and tabletop goodies, dice trays, condition rings, and things like that, little spell casting stuff. Great stuff there. Go check them out and support our show. Thank you.
Be gay. Roll dice.
An LGBTQIA actual play podcast network.